Is there any kind of countries that you see at the moment that we have quite an affinity with that you think might actually have an impact? I mean, obviously Brexit's coming, it's going to be the end of the year. We'll hopefully be very much looking back and thinking that, COVID, as much as it's been a massive shock to everybody's system, actually left us with hopefully quite a lot of good positive traits as a people. Do you think that whole kind of twinship, if you like, with countries is going to change? Is there other countries that could quite easily adopt working with us as quite nicely?
Well, I think our biggest trading partner for the staff has always been Germany. Germany, from what I read, seems to have handled the lockdown better than some. And one would therefore assume that their economy is going to recover quickest. And the Scandinavian countries as well. I would put them in that same bracket. But yeah, I think just going back to this global response, it's up till now it's been poor, but it can only improve. And I think the economies of the world will want to do that, and they'll want to trade with each other, and therefore big businesses will still want to be set up in London, and therefore they'll still want to hire staff who have an international outlook and hopefully speak one or two more languages as well.
Yeah, I definitely see that there's going to be a bit more of a talent pool in terms of language capabilities. Personally, I've been working on my Korean with the help of my 8-year-old. He's going to be studying Japanese next year, so he's been doing Korean as that sort of internal language. I have to tell you, it's possibly the most difficult thing that I've ever tried to learn.
I must say, it sounds like it.
It is. It's amazing what a 10-year-old brain can absorb. My son's probably more sort of patterns and was it kind of like he's very sort of numerical, so he gets that really well because it's obviously very pattern orientated.
Sure.
Whereas my brain just does not compute at all. So I've got that computer says no kind of thing going on all the time. But that whole sort of ability to adjust, I suppose, we're really testing ourselves, aren't we, at the moment, in terms of that adjustability. Do you think that we've got more to go? Do you think it's going to be something that's like elastic? It will spring back and we'll forget all of these things that we've learned?
No, I don't. I think this is so new, this whole situation, that I think we'll take a lot of the lessons we've learnt forward. I think, without trying to sound sort of too happy clappyish about it, I think people will be kinder towards each other. I think people will respect their fellow workers more. I think, as I said before, the trust issue is really important. So no, I don't think either the market will rebound particularly quickly, sadly, but more positively, I hope the attitudes that have changed during lockdown will be carried forward when we all resurface out of this horrible pandemic.
Okay, Graham's put some good stats in there. Apparently, S3 are up 10% over pre-COVID numbers on both contract and perm recruitment right now. So that is good news. Thanks for sharing that, Graham.
And I assume driven by the tech sector, that would be.
Yeah, there was another report coming up on Glassdoor this morning that the tech sector overall is up and recruiting over Glassdoor as well. So while looking at those organisations that are up on there.
Yeah, there was something in the Times this morning as well that a report by the REC, they do this this business confidence index, and their index had actually risen in the last couple of weeks. So confidence amongst business leaders in terms of reaching the bottom of not hiring, if you like, had bottomed out. I mean, which sounded good. Certainly in terms of activity, just general activity, we had our busiest, in inverted commas, week last week than the previous 2 months. So hopefully. shoots, little shoots.
Definitely, lots of shoots. Sorry, Graham mentioned that it was in Germany that he was talking about in terms of that.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Yeah. Well, there we are. Yeah.
About Germany being kind of
Yeah.
up there and starting to evolve out of COVID. That's great.
Sure.
Ian's asked a question around the languages. Like, what's
Yes.
a good language for businesses to learn these days? I definitely wouldn't recommend Korean unless you've got hundreds of hours of spare time. And you're good with a felt tip pen. That's my kind of take on the Korean.
I think it's still the traditionally more popular ones. German, most definitely. Spanish, obviously, because it's mainland Europe and Central and Southern America. But yeah, German, Spanish, French, they're still the main ones. And the easiest ones, by the way, as well. So stick to the easy ones.
I can kind
Stay
of pick
clear
up
of the Korean.
2 or 3 of those ish.
Yeah.
I kind of have this sort of ability to revert to French at any point wherever I am in the world. I can definitely bring out a couple of French sentences, but definitely not appropriate when I'm in Germany, for example.
I would think when the wine flows, I would think the French comes out, doesn't it?
Yes. Ian suggested he's trying Arabic at the moment, so that must be quite interesting as well.
Yeah. Tough language to learn though, with the different, the different dialects and B, the written part of it. But yeah, a good one to learn, certainly.
It's interesting actually. He's put in there UAE as the business front. I remember a couple of years back when I was in an organisation, we were looking quite heavily at the Middle East as a kind of positioning ourselves to go into market there. And obviously there's so many different cultures that are right across the world that you've got to adapt your business to.
Sure.
But do you think as well organisations are starting to look further afield to the normal sort of, mainland Europe, US, and they're looking into these different sort of markets with a view that actually is now a possibility?
I think most definitely they will do. And again, it goes back to this, everyone's got more time now to really rethink their business and their strategy. So yeah, 100%. I think that inevitably will happen. And just on the UAE, we've got a couple of clients over there. That the UAE is actually now starting to move out of lockdown quite swiftly, because they went into lockdown very quickly. And again, I'm no scientist, but it seemed to help stem the pandemic spreading there.
Yeah.
And hence they're now able to quickly put in place easing measures, lockdown easing measures. So yeah, that'll be interesting to watch the UAE to see if it retains that ability to attract foreign investment and foreign business. I think it probably will overall. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other bits and pieces that we haven't touched on yet? I know I've been bombarding you with questions today, so I just if you've got anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so. I think it's obviously really tough for businesses of all shapes, sizes, types, etc. But just to go back to this point of, let's seize the moment in this time where we will never have this opportunity again. I've been working for 28 years. I've never had more than 2 weeks off in one go. I've never had the time to literally take myself out of the business and look at it in a really clear-headed way. And it's, we're not back to start-up mode, but we're definitely in reboot mode, as individuals and as business owners and business leaders. So of course there'll be positive things that'll come out of this. It'll be a really rough journey, I'm sure, for everyone.
Yeah.
But make your business more strategically sound, clearer, a clearer vision, better managed. There's so much opportunity, and as I said, that this time hopefully, to God, hopefully, won't happen again.
Thanks. That's amazing. I really, really appreciate that, James. It's been a great, interesting conversation, actually.
Oh,
For me
well,
personally
thank you
as
for
well,
having
being
me.
able to kind of ask questions of folk that are, sort of, they're top of mind, and they're things that, it's great to get perspective on.
Yeah.
I've just had a note from Louise saying that she's not able to pop back on because she has had to take a call, which is fine. We'll forgive her this
As
one.
we were saying.
We do like to share this, and that whole kind of the community that we've got going on with Working Lunch is really important to both Louise and I for this exact reason. We're finding out, we're learning stuff, we're gaining perspective, and we're also being motivated and inspired by the conversations that we're having.
Yeah.
So thank you very much as well.
Not at all. Well, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, and thanks to everybody for joining in as well. It's been great to see you all.